So, top of the morning to you laddies. My name's the Man Buck. Welcome to a mod overview, insight, overlook, really, of just the 2017 F Series that I've been hyping up. I've been using in videos. Well, now it's in final testing. I have about 2-3 rounds I'm going to do before I finally make the truck public, which it'll be on Mod Network. It'll be PC only, and it is going to not be potato friendly. Alright, I'll warn you guys right now, if you're going to try to buy like 2 or 3 of these trucks and run them side by side, your computer will have a heart attack. But that's also just because the model's detailed, everything about this truck just screams, I'm basically high detail. That's something I can't really control, but if you guys run on the recommended settings, you should be able to run this truck just fine. When you go to get the truck, there's 375 megabytes worth of stuff in this file, which that's a fairly big truck. But the difference between this truck and, say, another one is this truck has 11 different parts. 1 being the truck, 2 being the detachable and adjustable 5th wheel, of which that is in miscellaneous as well as the rest of the beds. So the 5th wheel made its return back into the back of the truck. But in the cars category, there's 9 different beds that can go with this, and you can tell by I automatically did a shortcut, because I can do that now, of combinations. That'll direct you directly to all 9 beds that can go on this truck, including the 5th wheel itself. So to go back to the truck will start at $52,000, and that is for a basically bare bone minimum F250. Everything else just optioned out the way it is. That's starting price. The newest feature that is actually working now is when you do F250, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, my hubcap delete, and you guys can also see all the rims are a little bit different now. The hubcap delete on a 2-wheel drive, you can kind of see it. If I go down here to my plows, and I take off the splitter, you don't see it, it's just a straight axle. If you go to 4x4, it puts a differential on there and a drive axle to the front and deletes the hubcap. That is actually functional now. 2-wheel drive is 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive is 4-wheel drive. But that also changes the tier of the truck. So you got 250 all the way up to a 550 4-wheel drive. And each one will change its wheel config's price as you're doing your options. So be aware this truck can get up to be almost $80,000 if you're not careful. But to also go with that, the big dualies, 4 to 550, only has the 19.5-inch Alcoas. And you have either Continental tires, which are street tires, all season, Pirelli all-terrains, or the Michelin bib tires. I don't really know. These are the heavy-duty tires. As for the 350 and down, they all share the same rims until you go to the 350. The 350 consists of some Steely all seasons. The only real difference between this one and this one is the premium hubcap, and then you can just kind of keep working your way up. Got 17-inch alloys, 18-inch chromes, 18-inch chrome accents, which I love those rims, and then you go to the 20-inch chromes for King Ranch Lariat, and then the last one is the 8-lug style 350 duals with the Pirelli tires, and it goes back to stock. Your trim level goes from XL up to Lariat, and you get XL Basic, XLT Premium, which puts on the fog lamps in the bumper and the light in the mirror, as well as your badges and stuff inside. Not inside will change, but let me put this splitter back on. The XLT Premium, as it goes, XLT Basic, it just kind of starts doing that, but once you go to the XLT Premium, it actually changes your inside center console to a center console, and your handles go to color match, and so on and so forth. And the only other difference between Lariat and Lariat Premium is you get the different grille up front and the badging in the seats as well as there. That's kind of cool. As for bumpers, you can have the factory bumper. You can have a Road Armor black bumper, which this was pulled from a truck in FS13, being the 2010 F250 King Ranch. With the Road Armor color match, though, that matches with the two-tone. So this bottom half of the truck will match with that bumper, and the Road Armor will match with the top half of the truck. So whatever color you have the top of the truck, whether that's dark red, that will sync with that. The only other one that we have here is courtesy of Cooper. He gave me the ranch hand bumper, but this is just without the actual rack on there. Once we go down to the grill guard, that actually has its own little bracket. That's the full guard. but it's that one. You can either get it in black or same thing, color matched, and then we go back to factory. As for steps, it's a mixture of some new steps, like that one's got Ford engraved in it, somewhat came with the model, and then we have our folding and stationary style steps, and then we have the steps from the Ram, plus the Steely SRWs and the Grandpa steps of new and old. So that's kind of cool. Mud flaps now, it's just yes or no, and they will auto adjust to whichever style of truck you have on there. Plow mount, we already kind of saw that. You can either just remove the splitter, you can have a plow bracket, or you can have a plow package with the splitter on there. The two ones that say stock bumper is because of the fact once you have like the other bumpers on there, they don't do anything until you just put a plow bracket on, so that's why that is there. I tried making this as easy as possible to read and work around. The lights are a new thing to also be done. As for right now, it's got halogen and LED lights. Both were factory from Ford, but this is the difference. They work like they actually do. The halogen lights are slightly a bit more orange, and you can't see as far, and the LEDs are a slightly more bluish tint, not blue, but they're a little more whitish blue, and you can see a little bit further with them. So that's a new feature I really wanted to try and actually do, and it ended up working. I was so happy. But that's an option you can do. The antennas, you can have the basic antenna inside, or you can move it up to the shark fin sleek off the Ram. And then you have basic CB and a basic sleek, which is just literally adds a CB inside the cab. Grill guard, you got the return of the ranch hand, just cut out the middle, made the bars chrome, and then the other ranch hand style, which just kind of mounts to there, and then that's it. And what would my mod be? I thought about doing the customizable plates, but why not? I gotta have my Nebraska plates. So you got farm truck, commercial truck, and then nothing. 6.2 gasser, 6.7 power stroke. The color palette is consisting of all the colors I've done over the past few years, just summed down to basically some of the better ones that I've ever done. So the classic, like wine red, ruby red, gem green, blue jean metallic, all of those, and then the two-tone colors of even the gunmetal magnetic metallic. There now is a gloss option for that one, as well as the stone gray, which that is the original color, and then there's a gloss version of it. So that's kind of nice, but some of the classics, they just fit. I mean, it just fits. So bumper grill mirrors, that changes the trim options. If you have the regular grill in there, it changes the ring around that. So that'll just be kind of deciphering how you can tell between the trims, of course, blah, blah, blah. And then seats, because I can't really change anything else, it's either a cloth style or a leather style when you look at the seats. You have to be in the inside of the truck to be able to notice it. So that's all the stuff that has to be done with the actual truck itself. Now we can go on to the beds, which are pretty self-explanatory. There's only a few things that need to be doing there. That kind of, you have to do that every now and then. Don't know why. Does it in the game. Every bed is basically error-free. The only problem being some attached reference joint errors and some index. I can't figure it out. It's on the flatbeds. There's no issues with anything in-game. I've literally touched every last part on this truck, so I know nothing's messed up. But on the CM flatbed, this is the most interesting of all the flatbeds. This is only really a dually one. You can stick it on the single rear wheel, but it looks weird. Mud flaps, pretty simple. Toolbox, does nothing, just decorations. Nebraska plates. And the attachers, you can have the fifth wheel plate, which just puts the bracket up on top. And then you have 2-inch drop, and it's just the hitch pattern from the Ram. So you get your drop pin hitch, fifth wheel, and then the adjustable pintle hitch. That did also make its return. Now you're probably wondering, where's the gooseneck? Doesn't this flatbed have a gooseneck? Yes, you have to unfold this bed because the gooseneck ball is underneath that flap, and you can't attach anything to that flap door unless you have the thing open. So you have to open the flap on there, and it's just press X. But the door will actually swing open, and the attach joint would be from underneath the truck, rise up, and then you'd be able to connect once it's open. That's kind of a really nice feature. CM field bed, same thing, just this time it actually does have the gooseneck options in there right away. You get your little options there, and then the color palette for both of these, it's just like black steel, polished steel, steel, whatever it was, and then it just goes to the truck's color palette if you wanted it color matched. Fifth wheel, self-explanatory. Flatbed's the exact same as it was for the Ram. All your little options. That fuel tank's just there for fun. It doesn't do anything. I thought about making it, but I don't really want to mess with all the store option stuff. And the same thing, it's got all that, and then you can change the floor of the thing to polished steel, steel, or Line-X. SRW, same exact bed, just skinnier. The new Hot Shot bed is something that I'm really proud of, because I actually built about 80% of this bed. just in terms of the frame. So laugh at me, it's just making cubes, but hey, it's kind of cool. So this is a CM-inspired hot shot bed, so you can do toolboxes on the sides, mud flaps in the rear, again, Nebraska plates, and then all the attached joints on there. The only thing you can do, though, is change the line X and steel. I didn't make this one color select because, why not? Just whatever. And then we go on to the regular truck bed, which has options galore. You have your fender wells, all of your bumpers, which, again, road armor color matched, all of that. And then when you actually put on the bumper here, it'll change your electrical down to there since there's no real way to mount it up here. Steps, just retaining from the Ram. Nothing special there. Mud flaps, yes or no. Accessories, there's a new back rack. Same thing, pulled off that 2010 F250. You can have toolbox, back rack, toolbox, tonneau cover, and I fixed this, how it unfolds, so that's really nice now. Halogen lights, same thing, or you can get the LEDs, upgrading those. Antennas, bed whips, why not? Decals, FX4, 4x4, and same thing, that will also change with the fenders, whichever one you're at. There is no tremor, because the tremor did not come out until 2020. Factory tailgate, you have 3 options here. You can either get the tailgate delete for like a salt spreader, which there's kind of a gap there, but not too bad. And then you have the 5th wheel gate. So fun there, same thing, color palette. Bed liner, you can either have it be Linexed or color matched if you wanted more of a factory truck. And then you have the bumper, which is just for stock bumper. If you don't have a stock bumper, that thing doesn't do anything. The last of the two is the service beds. There's a skinnier version for the SRW, so don't worry about that. This does have a working fuel trigger. I'm trying a little bit to get all through this stuff. There's so much in this pack. And you have a bunch of different options in this one, too. You can either get a rack, which actually has a collision, so if you do set something underneath the bed and set something on top, there's 4 straps in the bed, so if you have 2 straps, one on the side, one over there, you can have another one reach up over the top, just your thing becomes top-heavy. You get a fire extinguisher on the back, mud flaps, antennas, just kind of set up there on the front. They're not really fins, but I just call them fins because they kind of look like them. Again, Nebraska plates, and then the attachers, just no goosenecks because it's just kind of there. Bed color, it's got slightly different, like 4 here, and then again just goes back to all that stuff. So that's pretty much the entire overlook of what this truck has to offer. I'll do an official release video once this thing comes out. I'm working my hardest to get this thing to be the utmost best quality for all you guys to be able to use this thing. It should be a blast. I hope you guys will enjoy it. And with that being said, thank you all so much for checking this one out. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below, and also check out the Boomstick Club for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You guys already know who's in it, and I shall see you all in the next one. Whether that is homeowners building all the driveways and stuff once I can get back into that and getting that little sprayer, or we can do the mod release of the truck. So with that being said, again, I'll finish it off with their traditional exit so I can get my outro music on there. Be sure to check out the Boomstick Club, like I said, for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You guys already know who is in it, and I shall see you all the next one. This is the Rental Man out.